It's time for your latest aviation news recap as we do enter into the weekend. There's coverage on an airline shutdown and 3 airlines within the aviation industry announcing expansions, which is pretty exciting news. Beginning right off the bat though with the airline shutdown, and that comes in the form of Malaysia's MYAirline, which have announced that they've been forced to suspend all operations indefinitely. A suspension of operations comes following financial pressure of significant value that have hurt the airline. Suspending operations is really what they believe to be a necessary step in hopefully securing their long-term future. MYAirline would need to undergo significant business restructuring alongside recapitalization to really emerge more positively if we're looking ahead. And these are just some of the many factors that would prevent the airline from moving forward. While no timeline for a resumption has been outlined, MYAirline does remain hopeful that one day it will return to the aviation industry. However, due to time constraints, ongoing plans to find partnerships or ways to secure funds have been largely impossible. Carriers can struggle to return to the industry once operations are suspended, something I'm sure you have seen on multiple occasions now, especially for an airline that at the end of the day is actually only 10 months old. It is one of the newer entries that since its launch has had it tough in multiple regards. Only last week did MYAirline have its real structure thrown on its head, with Rainer Teo, hopefully I have pronounced that correctly, acting as the chief executive officer, announcing he would be departing the airline following health concerns. While a very valid reason to be departing the airline, nonetheless it does leave an impact on the company. At the time of collapse, MYAirline was actually therefore only operating with an interim CEO, that being Stuart Cross, who in his day-to-day job before Teo's departure had been acting as the COO. MYAirline is one of the newer carriers in the industry. While founded in 2021, it eventually commenced operations in December 2022. It was a primarily low-cost carrier based in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Throughout 2023, it has looked to acquire more aircraft and had a view to expand. However, as the year has progressed and financial concerns became present, the New Straits Times reported that the airline was late on critical payments, which is never necessarily a good sign. At the time of collapse, if you're curious, MYAirline had an active fleet of 8 aircraft with 2 in storage. All units that it operates are part of the A320 family with an average age of 14.4 years. No doubt, I'm sure you and also me will be keeping a close eye on the carrier looking ahead. If there's one thing that doesn't stop within the aviation industry, I think you could make the argument that it is for airline expansions. Every single week, multiple airlines right around the world are expanding their network, and it's one of the most fascinating areas of the industry, I must say. American Airlines has announced a service expansion to the Cape and Coves of New England in 2024. Beginning on June the 5th, 2024 specifically, service will be added between LGA and Washington Reagan to Massachusetts. The services will be operated daily, but very generally, 5 cities will be added along the northeast coast from LGA. This includes operating the only service from that airport towards Halifax in Canada. Beginning on June 5th will be Portland, Halifax, and Bangor. American Airlines says all these routes will be operated by the Embraer E175 and fly daily during the summer season at least. June 22nd will mark the second round of expansion for the airline, with Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and such from DCA specifically launching. As part of all these new routes being launched, including again as mentioned that June 22 batch, the E175s will be operated on it. Next summer, there will be 20 daily departures from Maine to 6 gateways across the United States. Additionally, thanks to the one-stop connections that are on offer, 200 destinations will open up worldwide. American says it's the only US airline flying to Nova Scotia from this port, thus it proves fantastic access to the region and enhances connectivity. Its global network is expanding even away from the aforementioned services, with new routes within the United States slated to begin, and also international ones. 2023 and soon to be 2024 have really acted as pivotal years for American Airlines as the rebuild following the global pandemic, comes to a close, and now, if anything, the company is eyeing potential future growth opportunities. American Airlines has already announced in the summer of 2024, Naples, Nice, and Copenhagen will be added to their route network. According to American Airlines, these destinations provide fantastic access for holidays. They are ultimately locations where people can see memories made for a lifetime. Over on to our next expansion, and that's with Flynas, which have announced they'll be utilizing Madinah Airport as a new base from December 1st, 2023. And through this expansion, the airline is now the only carrier with 4 operational bases across the kingdom. 2 new destinations will launch as part of a commitment to the airport, but international routes which are set to feature include Dubai, Amman, Baghdad, Istanbul, and Ankara. These newly announced international services will work alongside the previous existing ones of Riyadh, Jeddah, and Cairo, alongside another one too. Thanks to all these launching, there'll be 11 routes operated from their new base. With a fleet of 47 aircraft, this is a modest amount, but don't worry, it is expected to grow exponentially in the future. The airline's most prominent aircraft type is the A320neo, with 39 active units and over 80 remaining on order. The A320neo works alongside the existing A320-200s, with also orders for the A321neo family, a very popular option within the industry, with United Airlines just taking delivery of their first. For wide-body flying at the Saudi low-cost carrier, well, they have 3 Airbus A330-300s in active service, with 2 units in storage, and this is per the latest fleet data. The company connects more than 70 domestic and international destinations, and is the region's primary low-cost unit, offering more than 1,500 weekly flights, and since its launch in 2006, well, it's said it's connected more than 60 million passengers. However, to align with the vision of Saudi Arabia, which I've covered pretty extensively here, not just through the existing Saudia, but also the upcoming Riyadh Air, it hopes to have 165 domestic and international destinations, thus representing an increase of more than double its current network in the next 6 years. That is ambitious to say the least, but you could argue that everything that is taking place within Saudi Arabia is ambitious, and we'll have to wait and see how this does all pan out. That's going to conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have absolutely any thoughts, you're more than welcome to drop them down below in the comments. Thanks again for your continued support here on the channel. Do take care and please be safe. I'll see you tomorrow at the exact same time and the same place for more coverage on the industry. And we'll fly.